questioning your value, and questioning all different aspects of your life simply because, not because you have no value or no worth, but because you're with a guy that's toxic. You're with a guy that doesn't actually respect you. You're with a guy who doesn't actually treat you with honor, dignity, respect. But the problem over a period of time is you start to believe his version of reality and you start to believe what he projects and blames and pushes on you, which leaves you questioning who you are, which leaves you questioning your worth, your value, your ability to produce, your ability to grow, your ability to develop. It leaves you questioning almost everything in your life. Why? He has to do this because he has to keep control over you. You don't actually need him, but he needs you. He needs you to be able to validate himself, to be able to feel better about himself, to be able to prop up his fragile ego. So as a result, what he does is try to be able to make sure that he manipulates and controls you and makes you stay in the relationship. Then oftentimes the easiest way to make you stay in a relationship that you don't know if it's right or wrong or good or bad to stay is just to keep you in limbo, keep you confused. The narcissist keeps you confused 24/7. What you believe, what do you do? What about what he says? But it's so good, but it's so bad. What do I do? Is this how relationships are supposed to be? Maybe this is love. Maybe he'll get better. You find yourself questioning yourself day in, day out because of the simple fact that he's slowly been conditioning you. He's been battling in a psychological warfare, a game that you didn't even know that you were playing. You thought you were in love. He thought you were the next target. Then as a result, he's worked slowly but surely to train you, to condition you to be stuck, to condition you to come back over and over and over again. Like a dog to its vomit. It just keeps coming back. It's disgusting, but it happens. That's going to keep happening to you as you keep going back to something that you know is not good for you. You know it's not helping you, but you keep going back. And it's almost like this intrinsic bond that's there that you're like, I don't even know why I want to go back. I know I don't even like him that way. I love him, but I don't really like him. I love him, but he's not really helpful. He's trained you. He's conditioned you. He's built what we call a trauma bond, a way that leaves you stuck permanently in the relationship, that leaves you tied to him. And over, you see that this keeps happening. Then you question, maybe I can leave, maybe I can get better. And when you try to leave, when you try to get better, the problem inside of that is you can't. Because every time you try to leave, every time you try to go no contact, every time you try to pull away, emotionally you get sucked back into the relationship over and over and over. You might have been stuck in a toxic relationship. You might have been stuck in this relationship for 1 year, for 2 years, for 5 years, for 35 years, for 40 years. Then in this, you'll find yourself feeling like you're literally drowning under a weight of sea of guilt, exhaustion. You feel drained. It affects you mentally, emotionally, physically. It breaks down your body. You start to question and doubt every single thing. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your fault. Maybe you caused this. Maybe you made him cheat. Maybe you did this. Because, he keeps saying it. He must be right? There's a piece of you that starts to believe his reality. The reason why I say all this is because I know what he's doing. Because I've done that. I've been the abusive asshole that manipulated other people to get what I wanted. I've been the person that showed up in a manipulative and toxic way to try to make sure that I got what I desired. Just to get what I wanted. You have to understand, you might think that it's just about you, that he's attacking you, that he's doing all these things to you. He actually doesn't care about you at all. He cares about himself. And the things that he's doing is to self-preserve himself, is to inflate his ego, is to make himself feel better, but it actually has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what his wants, his desires, what he feels like he needs in the moment. So if that means he's going to attack you, if that means he's going to roll over you, if that means he's going to hurt and discard you, he doesn't really care. Because in his mind, he's like, well, at least it's not happening to me. I've lived this way and I've done this. This is why I'm on this platform, to be able to help wake you up that he's doing the same exact thing to you. He's destroying you piece by piece. He's chipping away at the version of you that used to exist. The hopes, the dreams, the love that you used to have for life that now feels depressing, and trying to figure out, how do you just function on a day-to-day basis? How do you get up and start the day today? How do you move forward today? Leaves you feeling drained, exhausted, and worst of all, alone. I want you to know, first and foremost, you're not alone. There are hundreds and hundreds of women that are battling this every single day. We work with many of them. But there's many more out there that are struggling mentally and emotionally, wondering if it's them, wondering if they're the problem in the relationship, when actually it doesn't have anything to do with them being the problem. He's the problem, but they can't see it because they spend so much time justifying the relationship. They spend so much time justifying what they're not doing because he's attacking and blaming and projecting on them that they don't actually get to see that he's the main problem. They don't wake up and realize that they're in an abusive relationship. And they start to think that maybe it's their own fault that they're questioning their worth or they're questioning their value. No, it's not. It's his. So we talk about ending the manipulation. We talk about stopping the cycle that keeps happening over and over. It first has to happen with you waking up. You're waking up to the reality that this is not love. It's control. How he talks, how he interacts, how he lies, how he cheats, how he's not vulnerable, he's not willing to change. That is not love. That is control and manipulation. Wake up to the abuse that's currently going on in your life. Some of you don't want to wake up to it. Because if you actually admit what's happening inside your relationship, that means you have to do something about it. It means you don't just get to look at it and ignore it, because once you look at it, once you see it, you have to acknowledge that you're in an abusive relationship. It's going to keep happening over and over and over till you decide to do something about it. Not till he changes, because that's not going to happen. You haven't seen him change at all. When are you going to do something about it? Now, the hard part is you believe his version of reality. You believe that you don't have any worth. You believe that you're not good enough, that you have to earn love because that's what he trained and conditioned you to be used to. So as a result, when you think about leaving, or going no contact, starting over, all those things feel too overwhelming because you don't understand. You don't know. It's a piece where you're like, I'm afraid of what's going to happen, how he's going to react, how he's going to respond. Starting over, I don't even know if I can do that. Well, then he's won. Starting over isn't this piece to be afraid of. It's a piece of saying, this is a new chapter in my life. This is a new opportunity to learn. If you knew exactly how life was going to go as soon as you left him, and you knew the exact steps of what you needed to do, wouldn't that make sense then? Like, wouldn't you be ready just to move forward? But the problem is you look at it with fear and trepidation of how do you recreate you? How do you unlock this person that he's forced you into a box? How do you become a person that you actually want to be, the person you actually are inside? But right now you can't even share that version of you to him or to anyone. How do you even become that? Well, we have to switch you into healing, help you heal from the relationship, and then we have to move you into growing. A learning phase, growing, developing who you are. Sometimes rediscovering you, your passions, your feelings, your emotions, being able to process those, being able to let go of certain things so that you're no longer are controlled by him, but you can actually move into creation. You creating the life that you actually want to be. You choosing the life that you want to live. So let's be honest, if you look at your life right now, you haven't chose this. You've been forced into it. Decision after decision after decision, you've been forced into it. And now you're left wondering, how do I actually get out? How do I actually move forward? This is why I've created the Thriver community. Because if I can get you around other women that are showing up in a real and a raw and honest way, if you develop accountability with them, with myself, with yourself, to actually hold agreements with yourself. If we build up your self-worth so that you see that no matter what comes down the road, you can accomplish it because you're smarter than what you think, you're stronger than what you believe, and you're able to accomplish so many more things than what you think you can do because he's trained you right now to think that you're stupid. He's trained you to think that you're not worthy. He's trained you to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie. It's a lie that he sells you and a lie that he wants you to believe, because if you believe it, you stay stuck. If you believe it, you don't actually heal, grow, and develop you. If you believe it, he wins. You lose. If you want to know more about this, you can go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Go watch a video out from me, from my wife, from other survivors, to be able to hear their stories and hear how we actually help you move. Some mistakes you might already be trying to make. Some things that might not be working that are leaving you stuck. And how to take the next steps forward in your healing process. If you want to know more about this, go to rawmotivations.com/breakthrough. Schedule a free call with me. Let's sit down, let's talk. Let's build a plan to help you heal, grow, and develop, and change you. You have a blessed, wonderful day. We'll see you on